does that to everybody. If you're going to be a future guest on the DJ Rhett podcast, you're going to have to go through the Max sniff test, okay? Yes. Jason's currently going through it right now, and he's going to be all right, partner. Yeah. He's all right. He doesn't bite hard, you know. Yeah, so if you hear a little bark in the podcast, that's Maxwell, you know. We named him Max because I'm the Grinch, of course. So
I love it.
What's happening, my partner?
Man, just living a dream, paying the rent, running for office.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. So yeah, I mean, right now, actually, besides running for political office, I mean, you've been doing a lot of stuff in the community the past several years, you know, especially with your businesses and stuff like that. Kind of tell me a little bit about Jason growing up in Terrebonne Parish, like from the little TJs that everybody go, oh man, that dude plays bitty ball and all of that stuff, up until what we know the Jason of now. So, and I mean, I was in there for a short period of time in high school when y'all won the state championship against Crowley. That's my joke when I go to Crowley. I'm always like, hey, y'all remember in '92? I always do that.
State championship y'all
remember
lost?
That state y'all lost it. But I was a freshman, so I get to say that I'm a good luck charm, you know. So, but no, that's my joke to them. And I said, we haven't been shit since. So, but
they lost to them little bitty, skinny, fast guys.
Like, man!
Like, look how small these guys are, and they were like, boom, boom, boom. It's a good time. It's funny, man, to have this conversation here because, man, I grew up a mile down the road.
Right. Yes.
You know, in Rue Rouge, right?
I was in Presqu'île Isle.
Presqu'île Isle.
Mm-hmm.
I used to ride my bike to Presqu'île Isle to the ShopRite.
ShopRite.
Yeah.
I was
saying shop bag by my house.
I had a joke the other day about that too. How your mama can give you $5 cash and say, "Go get me a pack of Virginia Slim Light 120s," and you know, your daddy some Winston lights, and you were 5, and you can go on your bike and buy cigarettes with $5 and still have enough for a Slurpee
or a sunflower seed
or whatever. Yeah. Nowadays, you give somebody $5. What the hell are you gonna do with this? And please don't ride your bike to the front because you might get kidnapped. You know.
You're not lying. Oh, dude, it was went out when the lights went off and then come home when the lights came on. That was that's what it was.
It's crazy, man, how times have changed. But, I mean, we grew up in that fun time. So you were down the street. I was up the street right here.
Yes, sir.
But we all were still down the bayou.
I'm about to say down the bayou, a little further
across
up
the bayou. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's, I don't come from a whole lot. My dad's a diesel mechanic, very hard-working man. Worked hard his entire life. He just retired after 47 years. I think we figured out he worked. Mom from Texas. She did various jobs around, and we didn't come from a whole lot. So when I look at getting involved in organizations I get involved in, it's usually one of two reasons or a combination of both. And one is that I've always felt I wouldn't be where I am without opportunities that those provided to me. And so from there, I've always felt that, that calling, that need to give back. And also at the same time, when I see something broke, I want to fix it. And so I feel like I've just been given some great opportunities to be kind of the right place, the right time, the right mentors. And from there, seeing, as I get involved in community, if I see something going on, I'd be like, I could probably fix that, and then get involved. And so I started getting involved in organizations, and before you know it, it's like, and I guess if I say, when I trace it back, to growing up and getting involved in football, not many people know the story that, growing up before I got involved in football, I was kind of the outsider, the nerdy kid that moved into town. Nobody knew, didn't have a lot of money. Got bullied as a kid, young. I was the kid, I tell the story. I was the kid that when the teacher left the class, they had the kid that took the names on the board. I was that kid.
You were the kid?
Everybody knows that kid, right? Everybody's like, oh, I hated that kid. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the teacher's pet?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that too, but I had it on, it was on the side right here. Nobody see me put it on the board.
So, through there, I discovered football. A friend of mine played football and went to one of his games, and I looked at mom and dad, and I was like, I want to do this. And so
when you said you were new in town, that means you moved in as a small kid? So where you moved from?
We lived on off Rembert off Coteau.
Yeah.
And we moved down to Berg when I was in 4th grade, so I went to Berg Elementary. 4th grade, and then transitioned to what was supposed to be Montague Middle, but ended up being LaCache because the school got burned down.
Right.
So platoon to LaCache for a couple years, and then finished my last 2 years at Montague before I went to South Terrebonne.
So a lot of people, they think, they're like, golly, well, you just moved from one end of the parish to the other, but it's such a culture shock, man. Within the small parish, there's so many different things that go on. So yeah, so everybody's like, man, you just moved down the parish. No, it's the same thing down in Louisiana. We have small hot pockets down here that just,
What's interesting to see as you look through the South region, especially when you look, the tri-parish area, you kind of have that St. Mary is Franklin versus Morgan City. Lafourche is north, central, south. Terrebonne's that 5 bayous in the city. So it's every area's got its own way of life and own issues and some similarities in what we deal with, but we're very true to our regions and our schools. And I'm with South Terrebonne. I went to Ellender. I went to HOB, and it's cool to see the camaraderie, but also at the same time how we all come together as a community when we really need to get stuff done. And that's I look at growing up, getting into football. I gained some weight, grew 5 inches, and just took like a duck to water when it came to football. And fortunate enough to start for the state champ football team. From there, I went to St. Paul, Minnesota, and played college ball for a semester. Blew my knee out and said it's time to come home. And so from there, I got to work, started working. Started my first company at 26, Technology Professionals. That was in 2003. And just going right into it, it was, I'm making some money. I'm successful. I'd love to provide somebody else the same opportunities that I had, that if not for those opportunities, I wouldn't sit where I am today. And it's just been day one. Okay, I made some money. I'm going to use it for what I got to do, and I'm going to put some aside and do something else with it to help the community organization. And I've been the kind of guy that believes in, you change one life, well, that one life changes a life, and then you just go down the road.
It's like domino effect.
Yeah.
So when you said you blew out your knee and you had to give up football, were you going to pursue that like professionally, or that was just kind of a scholarship thing to get some schooling, or was that just because I know some people, they go to school and play ball just to go to school, but I know also some people, they go to play to get to that next level. Were you wanting to go to that next level, or?
So the guy I always looked up to was Sam Mills.
Yeah, Sam Mills
was about my height, a little bit heavier, and
Dome Patrol, bro.
Successful. We had best linebacking core ever in NFL.
That was the best defense ever.
Yeah,
ever,
and
ever.
So, to see a guy like that, that's about my size, I've also been a guy who felt that I could do anything I put my mind to. And if you want it done, tell me I can't do it. And it's pretty much, you can guarantee it at that point.
Look at the NFL players right now. They're not that big. They fast and they athletic. Very athletic, very agile, all of that stuff. But when you were young, you had to be a monster. Now it's like you have to be small so you can, I don't know. I guess it's work smarter, not harder, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. I like that old school football like y'all used to do. Just beat the crap out of each other.
It's something I miss, man. To this day, it's something that it's really affected my life. I feel like football's, the life lessons and everything you learn and that camaraderie of playing sports and working with people that you might not like or that are hard to get along with, but at the end of the day, you come together for that one common goal, and in this situation, to win a state championship. Something that no other school's done in the parish since, and it's something that we're very proud of. It's kind of like the 72 Dolphins. Every time somebody gets close, we're like, oh, they didn't make it. Pop the champagne.
Pop the champagne.
Sorry to hear that, but, no.
Gators, only one, bruh. Yeah, oh yeah, and I was part of that crew. No, but I get what you're saying about football, because I played soccer, which is the other football, but and I coached it too. And it's like, you say you learn the life lessons and all, yes, and everything I feel like today is like win, win, win at all costs. Win, 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 win. If you don't win, you're nothing. If you don't win, you're nothing. I feel like you probably learn the most when you lose. You know what I'm saying? Well, the good coaches will take that loss and not be like, all right, squash it under, like our that's it, that's our season or whatever. They say, okay, what did we do wrong that we didn't win, and a lot of coaches don't do that anymore. They just like, oh, well, we got to practice harder. We got to do this. We got to do that. No, that's why they always say, hey, we watch the tape and find out what's going on. You correct your mistakes. And I feel like it's just all that win, 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 win. and you don't really teach the lessons when you lose. So yes, kudos to you for the life lessons, because I mean, a lot of people don't have those mentors, so they rely on a sport or a skill or art or whatever it is that they're good at to express themselves. So in a positive light. So football and coaching for me, that was good. So football was your not kryptonite, your what you call it, your serenity, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say that it was a place to release. It was a place to man, it was just so.
Well, I'm sure to this day,
unmatchable experience.
I'm sure to this day you still talk to them guys that you lifelong friends just from that, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I played soccer with guys that I haven't talked to since I've played soccer with. But I'm sure if I would have won a championship, you'd still be in touch with it because that's just that special bond that you have with them. So
yeah, and that's something when anytime you build a team and achieve success. But like you talk about, I mean, to me, the path of success is through failures, right? Like I'm always been a guy that wants to constantly grow, continuous improvement. Like I want to be better today than I was yesterday. I want to find that weakness. I want to make that my strength. And so you take that mentality, those mindsets, and put that into anything in life and in business. It's one of the things that have also helped me be successful in pretty much whatever I kind of put my hands on. It's not to sound conceited or anything like that, but it's the drive, the dedication, the hard work, not taking no for an answer, relentlessness. Those are the things that have made me successful. Passion's my biggest strength and my biggest weakness at the same time. And there's nothing wrong with that because, it's something that has helped me be very successful. And it's interesting talking about coaching because I actually got the opportunity to coach football and baseball, 7-year-olds on up to about 12 years old. And to me with that, it was like with us, it was always about the fundamentals. We talked about being a student athlete, because that's what you were, a student and then an athlete. And so we worked on just as much as making sure the kids were growing up to be good young men, that they studied and they did their work. And we would, run kids that didn't do well in school and parents would be like, hey, we got something to take care of. But we started with the fundamentals, the blocking, the tackling. And to me, that's how you build anything successful is you start at the fundamentals of any project or any business or anything in life. You get the fundamentals down pat, you practice, you work hard. And with that, you're going to have some failures that you learn from that lead to more success. And so it's been cool to be able to take what I learned and take that down to a separate group of individuals that hopefully helps make them successful in life and then in turn in business and in the community and as just a responsible citizen.
Right. So is that what drove you to do we were talking about, I had cut you off, well, not cut you off, but we went back to the football thing, but you were talking about opening up your business and everything in 2006, you said? Three, I'm sorry. So you're on that path and then all of a sudden you were called to, I guess, just tell me your involvement in the Hesh Grant Association. Like, how did you come to that? Because that's when I first started noticing a couple of years ago. You know all you guys know Manning, all those guys, kind of getting together, and man, I got enough of what it looks like in the city, and where's our tax dollars going? What are we doing? And you guys kind of took the old mentality I do, like, hey man, it ain't gonna get done by itself. We're gonna have to get up and just and then y'all I think y'all even coined the phrase "be about it" or whatever. Just get up and do something. Do something. That's what it was.
Do something.
Hashtag do something.
Thanks, Daniel Babin.
Yeah, well, Daniel Babin. Okay, all right.
That's a story he's gonna tell you one day.
We'll get him on the podcast. He could tell us. But yeah, that's kind of that what drove me to go pick up trash on the side of the road. I was like, man, it's like. Looking at it every day, it depresses me, and it depressed. Not too many people have the voices we have and going to say something or do something about it. So tell me a little bit about that. Tell me what drove you to do that for Hesh Grant and Terrebonne Parish.
So I've lived. We talked about grew up in Berg, but I've lived throughout the parish. So my dad lives on the east side right now. After we left Berg, that's where we ended up. I've lived on the east side myself. Lived on the west side. And eventually ended up downtown, wife and I, and really just loved downtown and being in the middle of everything. And so, and a lot came open. So, we're going to build a house downtown. And I felt there was an opportunity to invest in an area that I saw was dying. And when I look at what I did with downtown, I have that mindset of dropping a pebble in a pond and the ripple effects, going out. To see it's the center of what Terrebonne Parish was formed on, right? When you look at the seat of downtown Houma was moved to where it is, that was called the Hatch Grand or Ashe Grand, or depending on which way you want to say it. And so just doing that, and so I built a house 8 years ago on Maple Avenue, and wanted to have that older look, to fit in the neighborhood, but have something that was fairly new. And just from there, looking at what opportunities there were and just seeing the buildings that just kept getting run down more and more. I knew Manny and Mitch and a couple of those guys through Mardi Gras and some different things in the past that we rode together on floats and like Terranians and Homas. Mm-hmm. And so we got to talking one day and was talking about building a bandstand and having a boucherie. And I said, well, if we're going to do things that are traditionally, Cajun down the bayou, I said, are we going to have a Pedro tournament? And they're like, no. I was like, oh, we having a Pedro tournament. And so it was just guys that kind of came together that said, let's bring, the whole thing with boucherie is the community. And, when I see passion and I see people saying, hey, let's get together, let's do something, let's make a difference, that's all I needed. And,
right.
And I said, I want to get this Pedro tournament going. And so, we had that first boucherie. We raised a good deal of money and was moving forward towards building that bandstand. I had kind of jumped in and interrupted that a little bit, but just to see a group of guys that said, and look, our area is traditionally not a group that waits on government, right? We don't.
Right.
Hurricane passes through, somebody's sick and has cancer, and we raise money, we have functions, we throw a good, have a good time and raise money on the side. Basically, is what it boils down to. And so we said, let's raise some money, let's build a project. And those guys, everybody's got their own set of skills that come to the table. And it is one of the most involved boards I've ever been a part of, because the whole history of that is normally you get 20% of a board get stuff done, and with this it's every person stepping up to the table and bringing their own set of skills to get stuff done, and that's what I'm about. If we get involved in something to get something done, like, I'm in.
Right. Didn't Houma used to have a bandstand years ago, like what, hundreds of years ago?
It was 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And we actually built it similar to look like the one that was there. It had a copper roof. It got moved over to Legion and eventually was destroyed. And so we felt, to create, again, that center of the community.
Right.
It's interesting because when you travel, which you just got back from Washington, D.C., and you do the tour and you look at how Washington laid out Washington, D.C. as a surveyor and how everything kind of comes to a point.
Yeah.
That's what we feel like that bandstand is. It's
right.
It's that center point that everything can expand out from. And then you fast forward to us working on the paddle trail, where that's something that goes throughout Terrebonne Parish, a 65-mile loop that brings ecotourism, economic development, and opportunities. And it's like it started off of that one thing in the center, and now we're building around that.
Right. Well, that's one thing. I'm going through Leadership Terrebonne right now, and I never really realized this, but Terrebonne Parish is one of the only parishes where where a main highway goes right through the downtown area. Like it's a state highway, I believe it is. Everybody else has a downtown right off to the side of a state highway, like Thibodaux. Now, I've always envied Thibodaux, like, because I go down there, man, this is nice, man. I wish that. And then when I hear Thibodaux people, they come down to home and like, man, this is nice. I'm like, bro, y'all got this over here. But I could start seeing it downtown. You could start kind of almost like just feeling it almost that it's starting to kind of rev up a little bit. Like it looks a little cleaner. I think some of the older buildings that were kind of just falling apart are getting swept away, cleaned up. And I think they're holding a couple of the owners accountable and say, hey, we got to do something with this. And, like we got to restore downtown Houma. And I think some stuff are moving now. I think, is it the Centennial Plaza is getting ready to open up? That looks nice at night. Yes, and it kind of runs almost parallel with the bandstand. And I mean, I think it's going to just bring a whole bunch of that's what I think the community needs, not only in Terrebonne Parish. I think it needs it all over the United States, the world, actually. I think over the past 20 years since the invention of the internet, we've kind of lost ourselves, and we just we're always scrolling, or we're always trying to be the next big thing, when the next big thing is right in front of us, and we should just be talking to everybody and having, conversations and being open. And I think doing this in Houma, you're going to have a lot more people open to, come out and engage a little bit more face to face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think it all, to me, this all surrounds opportunities, because when you look at, as a lot of communities, people think, they're apathetic. They think that what they can do won't make a difference, and that one person can't make a change. And I think, you're seeing now that people are going, oh, that's done now. That's nice. Oh, look, now that's done nice. And it's that concept I always say about eating that elephant one bite at a time.
Right.
And so as you generate more foot traffic and more people that want to come to the region, once they're in the region, then they could discover all the other things in the region that can be done, and, go fishing and go shopping and go, everything as far as, eating in restaurants. And, I think we have some of the top restaurants in the state. I think with some very good food that you can get on an everyday basis that maybe sometimes we take for granted. But,
yeah,
it's something that when I look at what people are doing, it's gonna be that combination of groups, individuals, government, all coming together, working together, and making little bitty changes here and there. And before you know it, it's that, that old broken window concept that, when a building's got a broken window, it's tend to be more run down, and the neighborhood seems to not survive. And you kind of, once you fix that window, everything else kind of starts to come alive.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's like, well, I think that's exactly what happened with Houma. I think I don't want to get into that stuff, but say who you will, who was in charge of everything else in the past. We looking forward to the future. I want a better future and everything like that. I think it just got stagnant, just like the water. You got to move the water, you got to pump the water a little bit. It just got stagnant for a while. It's our own faults. We did get buried in internet and all of this other stuff, and now I just think it's coming. It's coming to hold, like, oh, now the hurricane happened, and it got more depressing, and you see this stuff, and you're like, we got to do something about this. And I think it just, if you, like, misery breeds company, but also positivity does too. So if you see somebody like picking stuff up and they post about it, or if you see somebody, hey man, we're throwing this event in the, in the community, come out, we want everybody to come out. People are going to come. I always said that. If you build it, they're gonna come. But if you talk negative, well, then people are gonna talk negative too. So we got to be the leaders in our community and talk it up. Like, hey, man, yeah, we got problems, but let's fix them. It goes
back to what you kind of talk about with our slogan, which is do something. Like,
yeah.
And I've had conversations with, when people see blight and different things, and I ask the question that says, "Have you called about it?" And I'm like, "Well, no." And I was like, "Well, if everybody goes around thinking somebody else called about it, there's a very good possibility that nobody knows that's going on."
Right.
So once you call about it, then you make it the opportunity for somebody to be successful, and then you can hold them accountable. But you got to let them know about it in the first place. And we can't just assume. And again, we all got to take our own little bitty part. When you look at the trash that goes on, the trash don't get there by itself.
Right.
People put it there. And so we got to work on changing that mentality that says, we don't want it to look like this. Let's all take our responsibility and ownership into helping making things better.
Right.
And then the government don't have to spend as much money trying to clean up or fix up some things that, if everybody kind of does their part, makes a difference and makes it better every day.
Well, drive down the neighborhood. Everybody cuts their grass. Everybody trims their bushes. Everybody makes sure their house is painted. You want to look good, right? Well, I want my entire community to look good. I don't want just my house to look good. I want everybody's houses to look good. I want, when you drive into a neighborhood, I want that to look good. I want when you drive over a bridge, the bridge doesn't have spray paint on it, or it has like half trees growing into the lane. I don't want that. I want, my mama used to always say this when little. You could tell how somebody's how they live on the inside by the way it looks on the outside. Okay, if it looks like crap on the outside, you could rest assured that they got mold growing on the inside somewhere.
Right.
So I want to be that way, man. I want to spit shine, Houma. I want to spit shine Terrebonne Parish. I mean, even driving into Bonachan, even though it smells like Bupuri going down there and you expect it to smell like that, I want a nice little sign that says Bonachan, Pointed Oak, going down there, best fishing in the world. Brag about that because that's what we do down here. We always, we got the best fish. No, we got the best fishing. Cocodrie got the best fishing. Oh, yeah? Well, no, Bonachan has the best fishing. Oh, but, Dulac. Oh, wait, Dularge over here. No. We all fight, but we all take care of each other, too, which is great.
It's kind of like that thing where, like, you can pick on my buddy or my brother, my sister. I mean, I can pick on my brother, my sister, or my friend, but you better not.
Yeah, exactly.
like if somebody starts talking about one of the other buddies, be like, hey, man, we all South Louisiana comp. So
yeah.
Like, hey. Like, we may not get along sometimes, but that's my buddy over there.
Exactly.
My cousin, that we are related,
And I call everybody, I call them the North Itinians. That's what I call them up there. But hey, when we get our, what's handed to us for a hurricane, those North of Itinians are very heartwarming, and they come down here and they feed us with pasta. And jambalaya next time. We get hit by if we get hit by a hurricane again and somebody calls me and says we got 500 pounds of pastalaya, I'm going to say, go bring it to the vet down the road. The dogs need it. No, but we love y'all for bringing that down here.
Oh man.
But yeah, let's talk about the hurricane, man. Did that spring you into wanting to run for parish president, or is this something that you, as you were a little kid, hey man, I just want to lead, or is this something that you just woke up one day, hey, I got enough and I want to do this? Tell me what made you want to put your name on that ballot.
Beginning of 21, prior to Ida, I just felt a calling for it. I say that I felt it in my heart.
And the hash grant and all of this stuff was going on way before this, right? Like you were just, this is the extra, the cream, the creme de la top.
Right. And working through all the different organizations. And so when you look at, as you know, I've been involved in the community for 25 years.
Yeah. Rotary, all that stuff.
If there wasn't an organization like for the Alzheimer's board, we created one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I worked on Crime Stoppers, and I worked on, I'd get involved and I'd get in and I'd be like, ooh, I think I could do a good job of this. The next thing you know, I'm running it and changing the bylaws and working on budgets. And so it's kind of been my MO. But, really looking at the beginning of 21 and looking at what I'd sold out of a business and was starting some other ones and looking at doing some different things. And it's like, okay, what does the future look like for myself, my family? And I go, I just felt this calling that I felt, it was like, I think I want to do something, in the political realm. And so as it got moved forward and we get hit by Ida, luckily I had some damage and was able to salvage and got a tarp on my house pretty quickly. And it was interesting because I felt like that Hatch Grant as a group, most of us, I think, were spared, and I feel like that was the case, so that we were allowed to go do some work.
Oh yeah.
And so for 6 months,
that's an awesome way to look at it.
For 6 months, it was, doing the businesses that I have, and then also doing some hurricane relief and just being out with the people and seeing or not seeing what was going on, and some opportunities that, that kind of really solidified it, but also that combined with the fact that, my daughter's at LSU at that time, sophomore, junior-ish, and then now she's like, yeah, I don't think I have anything to come home for. And my son being in high school and him kind of having some more conversations about moving away, we probably thought he'd go to college locally, and he's trying to change the conversation. And so it's like all that kind of came together at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is something. And when I say a calling, I really felt it in my heart, and I really put it in the Lord's hands. And I do say all the time, if it's meant to be, He's gonna make it happen. And that's what I've been doing. I pray about it on a regular basis, and it's interesting to see some things that have happened that have kept me going down this path. And started having some conversations with people. Of course, got my wife on board first. Had to get her buy-in, her support. Could not do it without her support. My family's support. They've been truly amazing through this process. It's brought us together as a family. We walk together. We do different things as a family related to the campaign, and that's just been one of the most amazing parts about it, is that we're able to do this together as a family, and at the same time kind of get back to the community. I say kind of get back, but it's just it's been an amazing experience, and you know, I look at where I want to see, and my slogan is moving Terrebonne forward, because you know, for whatever reason we got to where we are, and I think we have a lot of passionate people that work for the parish. We have a lot of passionate people that have run for office and done things in political offices for the parish, and you know, people have made decisions, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. No matter what, we are where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, you know what? I feel like I have the best set of skills to take us to the next level. And in doing that, work on, you know, my 4 main areas are quality of life, economic development, infrastructure, and good government. And just working to make government more efficient, throw some common sense in there when dealing with certain things that have plagued us for a period of time. You know, we're 100 years off of oil and gas and fisheries that built Terrebonne Parish, and both of those industries are dying.
Mm-hmm.
So looking to breathe some life into those industries again, and look at some innovative diversification opportunities. I kind of feel like Liam Neeson. I got that special set of skills. And
Yeah.
I feel like I've been, everything that I've done and the businesses that I've run and helped out through the past of all my career, you know, for the last 25 years have put me here today. I feel like I have the best opportunity, and to have the skill set that says, you know, I could be a servant, innovative, organizational leader, which I feel like is what we exactly need right now.
So were you interested in politics, like as a kid, or is this just something like, oh man, this is just something I want to do like locally for my hometown, or is this something maybe a next step for a career, just like I asked you about football, or just baby steps right now?
You know, so I've done Leadership Louisiana, done Leadership Terrebonne. I'm part of a Committee 100 for Economic Development, which is kind of like the top 100 executives in the state, and leaders. And so just seeing what goes on and what we battle with as a region, what we battle with as a state, what we battle with as a nation. You know, I feel like we're fighting government, both oil and gas and fisheries every day. And it just blows me away that we have to fight government to be successful. You know, government to me should be that helper. It should help make things easier. And as soon as government starts making things harder, I feel like things need to change. And just looking at that, even when I look at my own businesses, that I have more success throughout the country than I do locally, just because of, you know, limitations in the economy, and you know, people may not realize, but we're number 1 in poverty in the country as a state. We're third to last in devices as a state. And so that's where I look at technology, tearing down barriers, bridging the gap, and providing some opportunities. And you know, I look at it as us as a state, we're normally at the bottom of the barrel. And then inside that state as a parish, we're ranked between 20th and 40th and everything. And as competitive as I am, I'm just tired of being ranked at that level.
Right.
Like, I just want us, if we were first or in the top 5 as a parish in the state we are, that I think would be a big win.
Right.
And so I'm taking this, you know, one day at a time, eating the elephant one bite at a time, and just really looking to see what our parish's needs are, doing a lot of listening, and looking to see what ways that I could provide opportunities and help make a difference and some changes that moves us up a notch every day.
Right.
And so that's how I'm looking at, as far as, you know, what the future is, or what, you know, anything else. I just know I've traveled the state and know what other people are doing successfully. And it's not rocket science. It's things that we're kind of doing a little bit already, or maybe some things that we could do differently. And I think very quickly we could be in a better place as an economy than we are right now. And not losing people anymore. And I think, again, just looking at what organizations and policies and things that I've been involved in, make the hard decisions, you know, do the things that is best for the parish only, and help people, you know, give people a hand up, not a handout, and opportunity. Provide that opportunity that we didn't have yesterday, or we didn't have 5 years ago. Just an opportunity here and there. And again, once we start affecting one life here and one life there, those people start affecting a life here and there. And before you know it, you know, we're ranked 5 spots higher than we were in a year, you know, and that to me is progress, you know.
Right. And you had mentioned something earlier that, you know, oil and gas is our bread and butter, and fishing is like, you know, commercial fishing and everything down here. That's our bread and butter. But also, dude, Terrebonne Parish has some of the most talented people, like ever. Like, Our friends Nok Nuna Matus got a band. Got they talented freaking people. Cassie Murals, she does, and Hans, they paint all over. They get hired to go all over the place. I mean, it's a little northern, maybe southern, Lafourche Parish. I don't know, but I mean, you got Jason Bergeron, the Cajun Ninja. He's right there. You got Still Crackin' Labadeville right there. But so what I'm saying is, in this Tri-Parish area, and just this little area, you got some of the most talented freaking people that I've ever seen in my life. Who's kicking off and I'm talking about the boot too. Lainey Wilson.
Yeah, she's good.
She's freaking whoop. She's getting up there. She's still kind of big, but she was in Lafayette. Lauren
Daigle.
Lauren Daigle. Yes, her. That's what I'm saying. Britney Spears is from here. Like, but she go follow her on TikTok, bro, if you want to have a laugh, bro. Holy crap. Now, Britney 20 years ago, you can call me. We'll go back to the future, back to the past. But no, now she's cuckoo, bro.
Man, I tell you, just when I look at, so 20% of the nation's fisheries and energy come through our region.
Yes.
Right?
In fact, I think it's like 80% of the Terrebonne Basin harvest goes like out of the state, like 80%. And I think a lot of that goes to Maryland. I've been making fun of the Maryland people, that y'all, we put the Cajun crabs in y'all Chesapeake Bay or whatever, and they never get that big. Y'all, the biggest one y'all got, that's a baby crab. That's a baby crab, bro. We just get the monster selects down here, dude.
It's to look at, just oil and gas. Somebody said, hey, we need to go get oil, 5,000 feet in water, and it's probably another 13,000 feet below that. And what do? We go, I get that.
Yeah, we got it.
Get the boat.
Hold my beer. Hold my beer. Check this out.
But from an innovative perspective, I think we have some of the most innovative people in the world between Lafayette and Houma. And the fact that what we've been able to do.
Call that Cajun ingenuity.
That's what you call that.
Yeah, bro. That's it's the smartest people I've ever. Maybe not the most articulate people, but the smartest people I know down here. You get figured out. I'm telling you, they got a lot of MacGyvers down, Cajun MacGyvers. They can, if you want to build a bomb, you just give them duct tape and a chadron and put that together. Boom, they'll figure it out some kind of way.
How many guys you've heard of or that didn't graduate high school that are millionaires?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They started driving a boat, then they built a boat. Next thing you know, they got 20 boats. And so when you talk about articulation, and to me it's all perspective. So, as a community, we've always been looked at as not very smart, and that we ride alligators to school and stuff. And also we go drill for oil and gas. Again, 5,000 foot of water, 20,000 foot wells. We have 70% of the nation's reef fish are fished in the Gulf of Mexico, right? So when you look at what we provide to the nation, both from a food and an energy perspective, like who else could have maybe done that? And you look at a lot of people that it's that resiliency. It's that,
right.
I think it's not just innovation. It's the combination of the innovation and the resiliency. That's that, oh no, we didn't make it this time. Well, we're going to get it next time.
Right.
And so you can be innovative, but if you don't have that drive and that push, then you may not get to the levels that we've, achieved as a community. And
right.
Just to look at what we've done, supply vessels and fabrication of vessels, and just, as we've evolved as a community, and again, I think technology is kind of that next frontier. When you look at drones and you look at autonomous vessels and things offshore, I saw a video 7 years ago where everything offshore, all the pipe handling was robotic and everything. And when you look at, oh man, what do we do for the workforce? Well, now we don't have the workforce that we need to handle that. So, well, not only that, just when you look at the baby boomers that retired, right? Baby boomers and legal immigration versus illegal immigration. During COVID, that ended up with a 13 million person shortage of workforce, right?
Damn.
So 13 million people. So my dad's youngest is 16 kids. And so those families had 4 kids and those families had 2 kids. So if you look at though that baby boomer generation retiring and the group of people moving up below them to take those jobs, there was nobody at that bottom level to take those jobs.
I got
so
you.
when you look at, and there's a conversation about whether people want to work or not, but when you look at just sheer numbers of the amount of people that used to work versus what work now, just on the fact there were 10 and 12 families down to 4 families, down to 2 kids to 1 kid.
Right.
A lot of people having 1 kid these days, or 2 kids, if that. There's that gap there. And so there's opportunities, again, to diversify the economy, to do some things that automate, robotics. And we can be the same group that invented and created the stuff to go offshore in the first place. We can do that and take us to that next level as a community. That's a very innovative community.
You would think all the stuff that we provide for the United States down here, Louisiana, because I always did that. One of my jokes is if you look at the United States, we're all the way at the bottom because we're the foot. Okay, we hold the whole thing up. Okay, we do. We hold the whole United States up because if you cut us off, the whole thing is gonna fall over. Okay, that's the way I look at it because Louisiana is that important to the whole vital economic. I don't know if you know this, but we did a little. It was like a little episode podcast vlogger thing. You want to talk something, but whatever you want to call it. We went interview a couple of people in South Lafourche that did the levee down there, and I mean they tax their own. They don't trust the government. They tax their own self. The residents tax their own self to provide themselves flood hurricane, which I think is awesome. Don't look, you tax me special, you don't touch that because the lottery was supposed to go to what? Teacher pay?
I saw some numbers recently, $22 million from lottery going into the state. Now, where's it going? Hold on, story.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But we taxed ourselves as a parish also. And so when people talk about high sales taxes, well, we got 3/4% sales tax on top of what people would normally have,
right,
to handle our flood protection and levees.
Exactly.
So,
but I know, but you know what too, and you go back to you want the new fresh leadership that comes in, and the technology that comes with it and everything. I think a lot of people over the last 10 years, 15 years, even though we have a lot of technology, we don't talk anymore. I have no idea what the hell's going on in Terrebonne Parish. I don't. But if I would love a parish president or a councilman or something to have a Facebook page, and every morning, because I know Archie Chasson does it every morning. He's freaking awesome. I just watch him. Everything they do has nothing to do with me. Indirectly, it has a little bit to do with me, but I'm like, can I make fun of them Fouchoniers? I want to see what's going on over there. But no, it's so refreshing to see an elected official to just sit there, strip down, and just be like, hey guys, the weather's 90 degrees, we're sweating, this is what projects are going on, if you got anything, holla. Right. I love that. I feel like we haven't had that in a while. And I'm not just talking us, I'm talking just across the spectrum. It's all about all right, I got elected, all right, then the next 4 years let's figure out how to get elected again. What? Yeah. Now on the bigger scale it's that way, but I'm talking about on the local scale. I think it's more of just shaking hands. Oh yeah, okay, run again. No, I want to see somebody out there hustling, bustling, sweating, working for the people, And I mean, it's kind of refreshing to see somebody like you do that before you even put your name on the ballot. You know what I'm saying? Because I could tell when people put their name on the ballot, then they start sweating. Oh yeah, and I'm like, okay, we get it, whatever. But yeah. So, anything else you want to add on that? On your run, your campaign, anything coming up, any events coming up, anything? And this too, I'm opening it up for every candidate. This is just a candid little conversation that we're having. Jason didn't pay me, he didn't do anything. So we're just talking, okay? But if anybody wants to come on here, we could do it. I would love to have a debate in here with
I'd be down. I've told
with some beer,
I have 20 debates. I'm going to be at every one.
That's awesome.
And it's a way for people to get to know me. And it's funny you talking about videos. So I've started a series of videos. I just released a second one. And that second video, I'll talk about a community outreach department where it's going to be, when you look at with the amount of residents we have, each council person is responsible for an average about 12,000 people. It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So to have a community outreach department that reaches out to our communities and understand what their resource requirements are, what their needs are. You know, we're all dealing with mental health. We're all dealing with drugs. We're all dealing with crime and different things with economic disadvantage. And so to understand what we could do in specific communities, go to those communities and start trying to get those communities to come to us. Go down there. Let's figure out what they need. Let's bring them the resources they need. And again, go that hand up, not that hand out. Because I think when you see what we've gone through with struggles and everything we're battling with, you know, insurance going up and everything. And so, you know, people's mental health and people are struggling. And we got to make sure, you know, in some projects that we did with the Hatch Grant, we did making groceries, we'd bring people grocery shopping. Just the stories I heard on the bus going to the store about what people have gone through and family members dying and just, you know, in that year time after Ida, this storm has been very taxing on our community.
Oh yeah.
And not only from, you know, when you look at the blight and you look at everything kind of come together, you know, we got to give some people hope. We got to give people, again, that to feel like they have opportunities. And I think by doing the things that the different groups, you know, Helio Foundation and Bayou Arts and Explore Home and all these different groups doing all the little bitty things is making this place better and better every day. And you know, we got to do some things to help make sure that our parish is set up for success. I think, again, we have a lot of very passionate, hardworking people that work at the parish. You know, parish government or our government in general gets that stigmatism of being lazy, and I don't think that's the case. And so, again, it's all about setting up all those employees to be successful so that we can, again, then hold them accountable and making things measurable and letting people know, you know, this is what success looks like. Converting to, you know, making sure that we're really customer service oriented, that we're there to serve. And that's, you're going to hear that a lot. You're going to hear servant leadership, opportunities out of me, because that's what I feel like our parish needs. And like I said, I'm going to be coming out with more videos and you know, just having conversations every day about what our parish needs, what people want, what people would like to do differently. And I have some cool stuff we'll be coming out with that shows what my exact plan is, what I'm going to do. It's not going to be, you know, when I talk about economic development, quality of life. When I say quality of life, I mean good government. When I say good government, I mean transparency. And so when I say transparency, it's knowing where your money's being spent, what projects are going on, when this road's going to get overlaid. And then when you look at, you know, well, this is a state road and this is that road. And at a certain point, we got to go, I don't care what it is. Let's just fix it.
We're driving on it.
Right.
You know?
I mean, and look, you know, the state is trying to do what they can do. At a certain point, we got to go, we're going to fix it. We're going to figure out a way to get it paid for or try to get the money back from the state. But at a certain point, you know, we need to take care of ourselves, our parish, our local issues, all of our issues that we deal with in this parish, take care of our residents first, and then go from there.
Right. I look at it this way, man. When you go to the hospital, if you got something wrong with your heart, they don't be like, you know, well, I'm not the heart doctor. It's got to go over here. Oh, I'm not this doctor. It's got to go. You call the heart doctor, and the heart doctor comes in and fixes your ass before you're right. Going. Okay, that's what we need to do instead of just saying, oh, it's their problem. It's their problem. It's their. No, we got to make it our problem. Okay, and like for instance, one thing the sewer drains. Now I get it. South Louisiana, all fill, fisheries, like all of this stuff. Big trucks, big boats, they were going up and down the bayou, you know. I mean, commercial trucks, like, I mean, you got some big ass 18-wheelers with about 300 pup joints on it, you know. I mean, that's some weight on roads that are sinking anyway because we're on soft land, okay? So I get it. It's not economical to keep paving these things here and there. However, we should do something to where, you know, like Lafourche does. They had they got that state highway to eliminate the trucks from going. They go all the way to Fouchon on that main highway. I forgot what
elevated LA1.
Yeah, LA1. Yeah, that one. Like, you know, think outside of the box. You can pave that every 10 years as opposed to paving your residential areas where they, you know, every 3 years. You know, so it's just. You got to start thinking outside of the box. You got to bring some new ideas in. You got to do all of this stuff. And I love how, I mean, you probably don't want to hear, but you got 20 people running against you.
But
I love that. I love how they got a lot of people coming out the woodworks to run. That means they care. You know what I'm saying?
It means we're ready for change.
Hell
right?
yeah.
That's how I look at it. And the fact that that many people feel like they need to change it. Again, I believe nothing beats passion. You get a room full of passionate people together, you can accomplish anything. Right?
That's what I'm saying. And I hope that all these people still have the same passion for whoever wins when the dust settles and the votes are in and, okay, this person is the parish president. I hope they don't go run back to their houses, they shit on it, and then come back 4 years. No, stay involved. Hey, how can I wanted to be parish president. Okay, well, you parish president. How can I help?
Right.
You know, like, don't go back, you know. We all in this together, you know, and I like I said, if it's you, if it's that one, if it's this one, I'm going to be there to help. I don't care because I care about Terrebonne Parish. I want to see cars going down the bayou all day long, you know, charter fishing people going down there. I want to bring Hollywood down here. I want to shoot some movies down here. Dude, there's some of the most beautiful sunsets, sunrises over here down the bayou. Get the drone out there. Some of the best locations, some of the cheapest locations to film down here, you know? And so I don't know. I just think I'm happy to see all these people running. I wish you the best of luck, but, you know, I have to end the DJ Rhett podcast in fun fashion, you know? I mean, we've been serious the past couple of minutes. You know, and usually with my little brother Benji and Aaron and all them guys, we get casade and we talk about some really crazy topics. So today, our podcast is going to be sponsored by Lane's AC and Heating, and also Cajun Perfection. So we're going to let them sponsor this question. You want me to pick or you pick? You want me to pick. All right. So look, this is just random. This is called Poddex, and we just grab a card and pull that out of there and then ask us a question. And we're just going to give our thoughts on that, okay? I hope it's not too dirty or whatever. This is the clean one. Okay. Have to grow, hunt, and kill your own food or eat Taco Bell only for 1 year?
Oh, I'm a hunt, grow, kill my own food kind of guy. Let's go right now. Come on. Get the boat. Let's go get whatever four-wheeler. I don't care what it is.
I know. That was kind of,
That's an easy one right
there. That is
an easy one.
We're going to go for a second
one now.
We're going to go for a second one. But just to say, I mean, Taco Bell, that's probably all the meat that we eat anyway. We eat the eyeballs, the
like
tails,
Taco Bell.
all of that stuff.
Let's make sure everyone I like Taco Bell.
I like Taco Bell too.
I'm going hunting, fishing.
Taco Bell one time is going to give you the bad Capri. So I mean, if you eat that every day for a year, holy crap, you're gonna have to get.
Oh, that sounds like that McDonald's one. That sounds like something you need to do and do a little documentary.
Supersize me. Well, let's say don't drop the chalupa. Too late. You already did it. All right, that one was too easy. Come on, we fishing down here. We can put as much seasoning as we want on anything down here. All right, let's see what we got. All right, this is kind of a simple one. Deep dish or thin crust?
Thin crust.
I'm thin crust too, man. I'm on the thin crust because I just like I like a potato chip. Yes. It's like a potato chip. I love going to Pizza Hut. Okay, I mean, I love my local pizza. Don't get me wrong. Peppers and Rotellos and all those. Great. Pizza Express, love them all. But there's just something about a Pizza Hut thin crust. It's like a Dorito, man. It's like,
you could stack like a nacho. You could stack a bunch of stuff on top of it.
Yeah.
I want that crust to be thin.
But it's almost like it's burnt, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's borderline almost like, okay, this is, they almost overdid it, you know, right. But it's not. It's perfect every single time. I have never had a thin crust pizza that I did not like.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. That was too easy too, man.
Yeah,
one more. Let's go one more.
Magic three's the charm.
Three's the charm. Okay, let's get a.
Both about food so far. So
yeah, both about food. Okay. I picked the same one, bro. I can't believe this. Would you rather have fat arms?
We had this conversation earlier.
Fat arms with skinny legs, or vice versa.
Skinny arms, fat legs.
That's been
my MO for 20 years now. So.
Yeah, but I would, if it was me, I'd like to have a big top and a little bottom. But I mean, if it's on a woman, I like a big bottom, big little top. You know, if I had to have my choice, you know.
I hear you.
But yeah, so Man, Jason, thank you for coming and spend some time with me, man. Good luck in everything. I hope you much success in the candidacy in the election coming up, like that. If you need anything, holla. You're always welcome on the DJ Rhett podcast.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Not a problem, man. And if you want to sponsor the DJ Rhett podcast, just reach out to me, DM on the DJ Rhett Productions page on Facebook, and we'll see you next time on the DJ Rhett podcast.
Vote for Jason.
Vote Jason.